somewhere in there. Oh, I'm tired. Really? You're tired of being married at 25, 30 years? Wow.
Well, you know what? Let's do the math on that, though, because in my mind, when I look at that equation, I would have to say that's probably about the time they got the house paid off, you know? And they're saying,
You know.
let's just sell this and split it, and we'll go get a duplex, and I don't have to
Right. That's about the time the kids go away to college, and, you
Yeah.
become empty nesters. And, now that you're talking about it, come to think about it, that is the time that most married couples are left alone to look at each other, and they don't have the outside interferences of kids, bills, mortgage, school, running here and there, doing everything that a family would do to keep themselves occupied. Now they have to stop. We're empty nesters. Oh, my God, who are you?
Yeah, and not only that, it's also you're at a point in your life where you have to say, because you hit 50, 60, and you're like, have I lived my life? I have so much life left, and I want to make the most of it. And it might put that. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because one thing I've always told people is it's better to come from a bad marriage than for children to actually live in one. And if the parents can find some spiritual things, they can offer their children in separate houses.
You're cutting in and out, Miss Wallace. I got most of what you were saying, and I have to agree with you. It is better to, get out early than to subject your children to that, because, see, not only are you subjecting them to those upheavals, but you're also ingraining that same evil in them to carry into their next marriages and relationships.
Great. Now, can you hear me okay, CJ?
I got you now.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over because I have some important news, and I want to make sure our listeners can hear everything I'm saying.
Well, you go ahead and pull over, because I want you to find out. I want to know what's going on. I want our listeners to hear everything you got to say.
Okay, so first off, last week, as you know, I went up to Snowmass to meet Stevie Wonder with my good friend Chris Fonseca, my road dog. And the funny thing about it is last night I was doing a post on Facebook, with all the celebrities I met to, get them to come join Comic Mafia and check out our show on Sunday Jazz Brunch and, doing a little PR. And, most of the, very famous people, I have to say, I've met because of Chris, and I'm so grateful to him. So Chris and I got in the car, and we journeyed up to Aspen, and it was a beautiful drive. And he actually has performed with Stevie Wonder. They did a benefit for the Christopher Reeve Foundation. So he was there with, Stevie Wonder, Robin Williams, all the greats. Because Chris Fonseca, he's had quite a career. He's been on HBO, Showtime, Arsenio Hall. He played at the Kennedy Center. And so he knows all these famous people. And I'm lucky enough to get to hang out with him sometimes and tag along. And so his best friend, Vincent, his daughter had a birthday. Her name is Millie. So Millie went, and Vincent and his wife, Becky, and we saw the show, and it was incredible. He sang Imagine by John Lennon, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. I mean, it was so beautiful, and I actually posted that on Comic Mafia, share that with Sunday Jazz Brunch listeners, and he played all of his songs that we all love, and then he played a bunch of oldie songs, and if that wasn't enough, and he has this special guitar made, and it's kind of like a sliding guitar, but it's different. It has a different name to it, and he played that. And then, if that wasn't all enough, he started to DJ. So he was dropping beats, and it was phenomenal. He was playing all the old 80s, old school music like Lady T plays on her old school Sunday show. And, oh, my God, it was so much fun. I mean, he was up there for like 2 hours. Duran Duran opens them. And it was just incredible. It's just incredible. And he had a message. He was telling us we shall all rise.
Hello. I didn't.
You know,
we didn't catch that.
Oh, I said he was telling us all we need to rise to our higher self and be better people. I mean, it was like so inspirational. He just, and he looked.
Folks, you know something, I truly dislike cell phones with a passion. Us, you know, in certain areas, they just don't do what you want them to do. Had you ever had a cell phone that you just wanted to throw out the window and hope traffic ran over it?
Okay, I'm moving. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, I moved up. So anyway, I don't know where I lost you, but I was saying he had a very inspirational message, and just really got the crowd on fire. And he was telling that we should love each other and do the right thing, and basically, I think telling the Aspen people not to vote for Trump. That was kind of what I got out of it. But here's the funny thing. So this is a great story. So when he was DJing, he was telling everybody, my DJ name is Tick Tick Boom. And he would go, everybody, Tick Tick Boom. And everyone would go, Tick Tick Boom. And so that became the ongoing theme of the night. And so when we went to go and have our photo op, now Chris has performed with Stevie Wonder, and Chris has this joke. Now Chris has cerebral palsy, and so his motor skills aren't the best. And he has this joke about how he went out on a date with this deaf girl, and he was signing, trying to talk to her, and he accidentally proposed to her. So when he was taking the photo op with Stevie, you could tell that they were dear friends. And Stevie is such a kind man. Chris is in his wheelchair. He gets down on his knees, Stevie does, to take pictures with Chris so they can get a good shot. And Stevie says to Chris, I'm not proposing to you. And Chris says to Stevie, I know, you're blind, you're not deaf. So it was so funny to see two handicapped people making fun of each other, because that's how they roll.
That's right.
And then I said, tick, tick, boom, and Stevie stood up, with Chris, and he said, tick, tick, boom, and it was so great. We got that on video. And the other cool thing was while I was helping up Stevie, from the floor, and my friend Vincent and Chris's friend, he says, teamwork is dream work, because we were all lifting him up. So I thought that was cool, too. So that was a beautiful thing. And we have all the pictures. I posted a picture with me and Stevie and Chris on the Casey Keogh webpage. And I also, every week I like to feature a cartoon character, and so I had Chris Van Sake on there as well as our cartoon character feature for the day. Actually, I do them daily, so that was awesome. And so that's what happened with that. It was very, very exciting. I mean, to meet Stevie Wonder is like meeting the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Robert Plant. You just, that he's the top. And one thing I've noticed when I meet celebrities is it seems like the ones that are the most famous are generally the most nice.
That is true, and I can only attribute that to having A, come from nothing, B, experience the joys of wealth and fame, and C, going full circle and coming right back to where they started and realizing that that money, that fame, and that fortune doesn't make them a person or who they are. They make them who they are. I can only attribute that to that.
Exactly, because you met Prince, and he was very nice.
Oh, he was a great guy.
And that's amazing. I mean, I just want to stand next to you and feel that Prince energy come off of you.
Something that was back in the day, back home in the D, folks, back home in Detroit, because Prince did a lot of concerts in Detroit. It's just at this one particular time I had the honor, the pleasure, and yes, I was graced with being able to hang out with him,
Yeah, I mean, you can't get any better than that. I mean, and Stevie Wonder is equal to meeting somebody like Prince. So we're both truly blessed to have those experiences. And speaking of Detroit, here's a nice segue. Check this out. I have coming into Colorado to meet me Kirk Nolan, who is everything. I mean, he's a DJ, he's a video editor, producer. He's on Nothing Sacred. It's a radio show that's featured on London Radio on 96.1. Mm-hmm. You can go online and, again, check all our links because everything's there. And he's flying in to meet me, and we are going to drive to Standing Rock, where the pipeline is happening, where they're digging it up, the sacred burial grounds. And we are going to meet Chief Goodfeather from the Lakota Nation Indian tribe. And I also called on my good friend Charlie Andrews, who's actually up in Estes Park now. He's the number one jouster in the world, and he's half Crow Indian, Black Crow Indian. And everybody's going up there to pray, to bring media attention. We'll be airing the story on Sunday Jazz Brunch. Our good friend Cortez Santana, who we have on the show with the Panther Movement, Anonymous, and the Tactical Gettys, they're going to air this segment on Universal Miami, who has 1 million followers. We are heard in 140 countries on our show, and Kirk Nolan's show is also international, coming out of England. So we're bringing the press on this important topic, and Obama signed legislature to ask them to halt. Now, I don't know how permanent it is, but ask the companies to halt the excavation of the land.
Well,
but,
you know, that one there is going to go through litigation. Of course, they're going to push to have that lifted, that restraint lifted. But you know something? I'm grateful that he even did what he did to give time to bring awareness to the wrongs that is being done here.
Yes, I am too. I am grateful that he did that. That said, you know, in my mind, the powers that be, we saw what happened with the banking institution. We've seen what's happened with the real estate institution.
The auto institution. Don't leave them out. Don't leave them out.
Right.
Every major corporation has been corrupt.
Monsanto. I mean, Obama signed a bill to protect Monsanto. So while Michelle's telling us to eat clean, they're signing to put poison in our food. So my theory is that this is just a way to halt, because the Indian nation has brought so much attention to this issue. It's definitely a thorn in the side of the election, which is 10 weeks away.
Right.
So as somebody who studies politics and strategies and the evils that run this world, and I also study the good and the loving who rise above the evil, so there's definitely that balance in play. And, I mean, it's a we'll-see situation. You know, my mom has this saying, time will tell, and you know what will smell. And,
yeah, exactly.
And so if it don't stink at the end of the day, then I know we're clear. But in the meantime, it's definitely it's a fascinating story, and I am so grateful that, you know, the people have come together and honored, you know, that Chief Goodfeather will have a meeting with us. And to have Kirk Nolan, I mean, you know, he's a comedian. He's actually toured with Lewis Black. Super funny. Their show with his friend Steve Brewer, I tell them, you guys are like Howard Stern meets Coast to Coast, only better than Howard Stern, because Howard Stern, you know, he's entertaining and stuff, but these guys go deep, and they're way funny. They tore apart that Tommy girl that was on Fox News, who was making fun of the football player.
Right.
And you saw me, I made the post that said sitting down to stand up, and they just annihilated her, and it was so funny and entertaining. We got
30 seconds left and counting, so you're on your way up to Estes Park to do this.
I am, and I will be back next week with updates, everything you can catch on the Sunday Jazz Brunch, and also KZKO and Comic Mafia, and we will have all that report bringing to our fans, and pray for us. We're going there to fight.
And y'all hear that, folks, right here on KZKL The Vibe. Our time is up with